All right, welcome back, my seventh graders. Let's go ahead and work out 7.2. I see at the beginning it says find the mean, median, mode, range, and interquartile range of this data. Wow, they didn't ask for too much, did they? Well, to find the median or to the means, remember we got to add up all the numbers and divide it by the number of numbers they are. So let's use the calculator to make this quicker. If I do this, I see that the first number is 68. So I'm going to take 68. I'm going to add it to the second number, 74. And the third number is 67, and so on, 72, plus 63, plus 70, plus 78, plus 64, plus 76. And now I'm going to divide it by the total number that there are. And I'm going to double check my numbers here. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers. And I'm going to divide this by 9 then. That gives me 70.2. So that tells me 70.2 is going to be my means. All right, let's go on to the median. The median is when I put all these numbers in order, then I find the middle. So let's go ahead and put these numbers in order. Let's see, the smallest number that I see is going to be, looks to me like 63. So let's put that one in first. The next smallest is going to be, let's see, 64. And the next number will be 67 and then 68. And now I'm out of the 60s. Looks like 70 is the next biggest number. Then 72. Then 74. Then 76. And 78. And that looks like all the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers, just like before. Now to find the middle, this is going to be kind of easy, really. I mean, I could go ahead and eliminate number by number on each side. And I guess I'll do that since that's the way I taught it in class. And that would make one off there, 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 which tells me that my median is going to be 70. So over here, I'll put my median is 70. All right, next, I'm going to find my mode. The mode is the number most often seen. And there's no number over here that repeats itself, so there is no mode. Next, I'm going to find the range. The range is the biggest number minus the smallest number. So when I get my calculator out, I'm going to take 78, because that's my biggest number, subtract 63 from it, which is my smallest number, and that gives me 15. So my range is 15. And now I'm going to go ahead and find my interquartile range. To find the interquartile range, I need to find the numbers that are in between each of the halves on each side of my median. So let's go ahead and just draw those halves out really quick. I'm going to put them in green here. So this would be one half of the data, and this would be the other. We do not include 70 since 70 is our median. Well, it's easy to see that half of this data would be right here, and half of this data would be here. Now I have to find the difference, or I would have to find the average of 74 and 76, and that's pretty easy, because 74 and 76 that makes, oh, I put 47, let me correct myself. 74 plus 76 equals 150, and when I divide that by 2, I get 75. So that tells me my third quartile is going to be at 75. And now I got 64 and 67. So I'm going to take 64 and add it to 67. then divide by 2. That gives me 65.5. Now to find the interquartile range, I take the third quartile and minus the first quartile. So that means I'm going to take that 75 and I'm going to subtract 65.5. And that gives me 9.5. So my interquartile range equals 9.5. All right, and that's all of them. So let's go on to number 3. It tells me to convert, round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. It says 7 gallons to a liter, and I know that 1 gallon equals 3.7854 liters. I can simply put in my calculator, and I guess the proper way to have done this, let me just try it here. If I have, we're going to cross multiply. If I have if 7 gallons equals 1 liter, and I know that this time I have over here 1 gallon, right? Oh, actually, this is 2 liters, 2 liters. Let me erase this 1 on the bottom. I'm a little ahead of myself. So this is 1 gallon is going to be equal to 3.78541. I'm looking for this number here. So when I cross multiply, I'm going to be taking 7 times 3.78541, and I have to make that equal to, well, to x, because when I cross multiply the other way, I got x times 1. So let's go ahead and do that. On the calculator, I'm going to take 7 and multiply it to 3.78541. And that gives me 26.49787. Remember, we're rounding the nearest hundredth. The hundredth is right here. So we're going to make this, we'll round up to, that'll be round up to 10, which would round this up to 50. So 26.5 would be my answer. 26.5. All right, let's go ahead and go at number 5. The table shows the percent of the population from age, by age from Florida countries in 2018. Display the data from each table in a circle graph. Well, if I'm going to do this, let's just go ahead and look at this first one. They're talking about 25% was age 0 to 19. Well, if I took 25%, remember I'm taking 25% out of 100% of my data. But when I'm comparing it to the percent of a circle, I remember that a circle has 360 degrees. And I'm trying to find out how many degrees 25 is going to be. So once again, I'll be cross multiplying. I'm going to take 25 and multiply it to 360. That has to be equal to 100x. So when I do this problem, I'm going to get 25 times 360 equals 100x. I have to multiply 25 times 360, which is 9,000. And when I go ahead and divide by 100 to isolate my x, I have to divide 9,000 by 100. I remember that whenever there's a 0 on the top and the bottom, I can cross it out. And that leaves me 90 over 1, so that means x is 90. And that means 90 degrees, because that's what we were talking about, 90 degrees. That was a great number to start off with. So when I make my circle, for my circle graph here, and I'm just going to put it over here, and then I start making my lines, I know the first one's going to be a 90-degree line, so I can put this one straight down to my center, and then put it over here at 90 degrees. And now this helps me figure out the rest because this one over here is 26 degrees. So over here, I could actually put, let's see, I'll put 26 degrees as about a little more than 25 degrees was, right? So about right here. And you'll notice that if this is 25, this is a little more, 26. And then I've got 31. So 31 even has to be bigger than 26. So if I'm going to make 31, I could come down here. This would be 90 straight down. So I can make 31 about like that. And that looks to me like it's bigger than the 26. And now I can label everything. I can put this at 31. That would be the 20 to 39-year-olds. I could put this one at 25. I could put this one at 26. And I could put this one at 18. And now I've got a circle graph that shows all the different age groups by percent in a circle. All right, let's go to number 7. It says find the mean, median, range, and interquartile range. Which measurement which measure center and variation best describes the data set. So the first thing we have to do is put these in, well, actually to find the means, we're going to add them up and then divide it by the number of numbers. So let's do that. I'm going to group these together. I see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. So I'm going to take 9 times 4. That's 36. I'm going to add that to, let's count my 8s. 1, 2, 8. So I'm going to take 8 times 2, which is 16. And together that makes 52. Now I'm going to take my 7s. There's 1, 2, 3 7s. So I'm going to add that to 7 times 3, which is 21. And together that all makes 73. I'm going to add that to my 6s. There's only 1 6. And then there's 1 3 and 1 2. So I can say plus 6 plus 3 plus 2, and I'm done. That gives me 84. All right, now that I know there's 84 total, I'm going to divide it by the number of numbers there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So when I divide this by 12, I see that that's going to be 7. So my median is, or means, is going to be 7. All right. Sorry, this should be an equal sign. There we go. Now let's go to the next one. It says the median. I have to put these numbers in order for my median. So let's put them in order down here. The smallest number was 2. There was one of those. The next smallest was 3. There was only one of those. Next number was 6. There was only one of those. I remember I had 3 7s. So that's a 7, 7, 7. And then there was 2 8s. And then 3, oh, let me see, were there 2 8s or 3 8s? 1, 2 8s, and then there were 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 9s. And that should be all of it. We're going to count 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we're going to find the middle. All right, so we're going to go back here and we're going to take 1 off from each side until we get to the center. And since there was 12, that tells me there's going to be 6 of these yellow circles on each side. So that's going to put us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right here is the center. So I have to find out what's the mean. Well, I have to take the average of 7 and 8. I know that's going to be 7.5. I don't need a calculator for that. 7 plus 8 divided by 2 will give me 7.5. Now I have to find the middle of these. Well, if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there will be 3 on each side, right? And the average between 9 and 9 is definitely going to stay 9. But the average between 6 and 7 would be 6.5. So getting back to what we had over here, the median was 7.5. Let's see. The range was the biggest number minus the smallest. So that's 9 minus 2. That's going to equal 7. And then the interquartile range, that's going to go ahead and be equivalent to 9 minus 6.5, which should be 2.5. All right, so if I was going to pick which was the best measure of center, the means and the median both fit this. I mean, they're very close to each other. So I would say either one of these would be a great center of measure. And as far as my range and interquartile range, I think I'd be more comfortable using my interquartile range. Look, there's only a difference of 2.5 there. Look at all the differences out here. This doesn't change at all. This changes drastically. This would really affect where I thought my where my range went out to. I'm more comfortable saying that it's somewhere around here than coming up to some number closer to 2. All right, let's go with number 9 now. This time they give us a dot plot. To go and do a dot plot to find the means, I'm going to have to add up all of these dots by what their value is. So let me show you how to do that real quick. Over here, I would take 38. That's all by itself. And I'm going to add it to, I see 40. There's 4 of them. So I'm going to put a parentheses and put 4, 0 times 4. And then close my parentheses. That made 160. So when I add that, and that should have been 38. So I'm going to have to add 30 to that later. Everyone sees I accidentally put 8 instead of 38 there. So here I'm going to add 30 to that so I can get back to 38. Okay. And now I'm going to add 42 times 3. I'm going to add, in parentheses, 42 times 3, and then close my parentheses. Now I'm at 324. I'm going to take 44 times 2. So plus parentheses 44 times 2. And then I'm going to take 46 times 2. So plus parentheses 46 times 2. And then I've got plus 48 and plus 50. That gives me a whopping 602. So now I got to take 602 and divide it by the number of dots there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'm going to divide this by 14. 14. And that gives me 43. So that tells me this time my means will be 14. That doesn't make any sense. Hold on a second. 43, I'm sorry, not 14, 43. That makes more sense. 43 is about right here in the middle of all my data. All right, next I find the median. To do the median, I'm going to use the same dot technique that I did before. These dots are kind of small, so I'm going to use a pin here. And I'll just put them, slash them off in green. And that's going to be 1, 2, and 1 over here, then 1 over here, 1 over here, and 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 1 over here. And we can see now we're right here at 42 with the last 2. So that means my median is going to be 42. All right, now we're looking at the range. The range is the biggest one minus the smallest one. 50 minus 38 is going to give us 12. And the interquartile range, well, again, I'd have to find the middle of these. And since there was, let me erase all these dots here. Since we said there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The middle of that would be 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's on one side and that's on the other. So now I have to find the middle of 7. And that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and that would make here. Now there's 3 on this side, right? Because this was 7. This is going to count with it. 1, 2, 3. So the middle is going to be right here at 40. So that's my quartile, first quartile. And then I have to come to this one, 1, 2, 3. That means my middle one is going to be 46. So quartile 3 will be 46. 46 minus 40 is 6. So that tells me my interquartile range is 46. Okay, um, let's go on to number 11 now. Number 11 has a box and whiskers, which is really great for this. It tells me my median right here off the bat is 82. Um, that's pretty much going to be where my means is, to be honest with you, because I can see the data variation is very even across here, right? Um, or is it? Let me make sure. This goes from 80 to 100. This goes from 80 to 60. So yeah, it's about 20 on each side. There isn't much of a difference of variation. It's going to be about 80 for my means. I can see over here there's from 82 to 91 is a difference of about 9. And from 82 to 73 is a difference about 9. So really close for the mean and the median. And why don't I have to go any further than this? Oh, I did forget to mention over here, when it came to number 9, and I'm just going to highlight here, again, because these are close, I can use my median or my means, and I would probably be comfortable over here once it, I mean, I could use the interquartile range or my range, because as you can see, the data doesn't have any big outliers. There's nothing really far from 43, that median, right? 38 is really close to it, and so is 50. They definitely will fit into my formula. Now, when I come over here for number 11, I know that 18 or 82 is going to be very close to my median or my means because the data is very even on both sides. So let's go ahead and do that. I can put over here the mean and median is going to be about 82. All right, I can see that my range is going to be 98 minus 63, and 98 minus 63, 98 minus 63, that's going to be 35. So my range equals 35. And my interquartile range, that's going to be 91 minus 73. So when I take 91 minus 73, that's going to give me 18. All right, which ones would I use? Well, because my mean and my median are so close, I'm fine using either one of those. And because this data is spread out very evenly, I would use the range or interquartile range uh, for my variation. All of it's good. Number 13 says, describe the center and the variations of the data sets in exercise 10 and 11. So if I do 10 and 11, we're talking about time and volume. We're talking about test scores. So I'm going to pause this. I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little quicker for the video purposes. Let me see here. For some reason, it seems stuck and not wanting me to scroll down. I'm not quite sure why. Let me fix that. There we go. All right, so I would go ahead and put this right here, and this will help me streamline this a little, and it won't be so messy. The time spent volunteering centered around approximately 5.78, and you can see over here, the middle is about 5.78. And the middle half of the data varies by no more than 2 hours. So by 5.78, you could see most of the data is within 2 hours of it. On the second one, we talk about exercise 10, the test score is centered around 82. And you can see right over here, it does get right there at 82 where our median is. And the middle half of the data varies no more than 18 points. So you can see 91 minus 73 was 18. All right, let's go to number 15. That was deleted. So we're going to, I got number 17 next. It says problem solving. You play a board game in which you draw from one of the two piles of cards. Each card has a number that says how many spaces you will move your piece forward on the game board. The table shows the number on the card in each pile. From which pile would you choose? If it was me, I'm going to choose from pile A, and here's why. I see from A the lowest number is 3 and the biggest number is 7. I can guess pretty much in there. It's going to be between somewhere in the 4. But on pile B, you see that the lowest is 0 and the highest is 10. This is going to make it very hard to guess which one it is. So I would pick pile A. That's because pile A has a smaller variation, less variation in pile A. All right, let's go to number 19. 19 says the histogram shows the number of words that several students can form in 1 minute using letters P, S, E, D, A. Your friend says that the median and interquartile range are appropriate measures center and variation because the value of 19 to 21 category must be the outlier. Okay, is your friend correct? And I'm going to say no. Reason being is the greatest possible value for the interquartile range is 9 minus 1. 9 minus 1. And that's only going to be a difference of 8. So the value greater than 9 plus 1.5 times 8 is 21, is the outlier. There are no outliers, okay? The 19 to 21 fit within the range, all right? So well, that's it. I think 20 is yours to do. And it is. So good luck, and I'll see you in class for grading.